A couple days ago, I did a video talking about sort of a basic template I use when trying to take a raw tone model and kind of give it a little bit more life using the built-in tools within Tonex. Well, this raised a question that I received a couple comments about, and it's a question that I've received a lot in the past and heard people discuss a lot in the past. Let me just read you the comments that I received on this so you can see where we're going to go with this today, and hopefully I can help you work out a workflow that's going to save you some time when working with Tonex. So the first comment I received from a viewer was, I always miss a way to store a standard for reverb, delay, etc. that I can put on any amp model as a starting point. Actually, I buy an amp model with, let's say, 15 variations, and 15 times I have to start dialing in delay, tape, mix, nerving. No better solutions available? And a reply to that comment was, yes, this. I go crazy having to make the same adjustments to each and every tone model that I save as a preset. A customizable template overlay would be a great improvement to workflow. Now, I totally agree with that, but there always has been kind of a workflow within Tonex that will basically accomplish this and potentially save us a lot of time. So we're going to do a couple of things first. Basically, here I am in Tonex. Now, you'll notice here that I just have Black Angus tone model. I'm on my tone model tab. Really keep in mind that there's a difference between the tone model and preset tab, and I think you're going to see what that difference is today very clearly. So here we are on the tone model. We have the infamous Black Angus tone that everybody loves to hate. So now what we have here is basically no reverb, no delay, and whatnot. So what I can do if there is, like in the video I did a couple days ago, sort of a default setup that I like to have to at least get started on different tones, I can create that. So let's do that just with Black Angus. The amp and cab are actually irrelevant at this point because you're going to see what I'm going to do here. I'm going to just basically set the noise gate to those settings that I was talking about the other day and make all the settings that I kind of like to have as, let's say, a bit of a starting point, or at least in that ballpark. Let's bring a little bit of room reverb in here at the settings that I like. Let's leave it there. That's fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come over to my preset tab and I'm going to create a user folder right here. I'm just going to call this templates. We'll call it that. Okay. So now we have that there. I'm going to come over to this basic tone model. It doesn't matter which tab we're on for this, that I've added these changes to the compression, the reverb, the noise gate. I'm going to save this as a preset. Okay. So I'm going to go choose a location. I'm going to pick my new templates folder. I could have also created that from here. And I'm just going to call this, let's say default template. And we can call this whatever we want, clean drive. That doesn't matter because we're going to change that as we go. I maybe want this to always say the instrument is electric guitar, instrument type, solid body, artist, my name. And you can add whatever you want in here. You could take this out and just save that. Now what's going to happen when we come over to our preset tab to our templates folder, you're going to see that default template there. Now, like I said, don't worry too much about the character, the amp based on, or the cab based on. That is all going to change. So I can save that. And let's say we also wanted to save a template with some tape delay on it with these settings. Okay, I can come up here, I can hit save again, and I could say default template delay. And again, that's going to go into our templates folder. Let's say we wanted to do one that had, spring reverb instead of the room reverb. We can make these settings. I'm just making arbitrary settings here for now. And maybe we call that spring. As you can see, we can go on all day with this, right? As I go through these now, you're going to see that they change to those different settings. So these can act just as my basic templates. And again, ignore the fact that we're using this particular Marshall JCM 800. Now, let's go over to our tone model. One of the complaints was that one of the viewers says if I buy a whole bunch of tone models off of, let's say, maybe a partner from the ToneNet site that I am a part of through IK Multimedia, let's pick one of my collections from here. What I'm going to do first, though, is just reset all of the settings to how these are going to come up when you first get them. Let's go to one of my latest collections, the Tone Quotient DC Ultimate. I'll have a link below to this if you're so inclined. We'll pick one of these tone models. We'll take a listen to how it comes up here. This is a collection based off of my absolutely stunning divided by 13 FTR 37 amp. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Okay, but it's very bone dry. And let's say I wanted to come in here and add the reverb and whatnot to it. Well, instead of always having to come in here and add the noise, gate, and compression and make all those settings, I could now just choose my tone model, flip over to my preset tab, choose one of my templates. Let's say I wanted this template. Now, you notice obviously the amp and the cab have changed. Flip back over to my tone model. I can choose one of these. Guess what happens? All of these other settings stay intact, but my amp and cab change. So just like that, I have the same tone model. And it has all of those settings, and you really hear it kind of jump to life. Now you say, well, how do I keep that? Well, I come back up here and I hit Save Preset. I'm going to create a different user folder, and maybe we'll call this Tone Quotient. Now this preset is going to save within that folder. And, obviously I could come over here and take a look at what it is here. Tone Quotient DC Alt 1.3. I could call it Tone Quotient DC 1-3H, whatever I want to call this, right? And again, I want to come down here, put it in the proper folder. And I could change the character if I wanted, and I could add whatever description and make whatever changes I want in there. Now, I click on that. Now, what the interesting thing is, if I wanted to apply that to all of these, as I change through these, I could just basically apply these in this way. All my settings are the same. I could take a listen to that, obviously. Maybe you want this one to be a little louder, so I come up here and I bump the gain up. Maybe a little more threshold. And then I come up here and I say, well, that one's going to be 1-1H. And I hit this, make the appropriate change to the name. Now, the neat thing about this is when I come back over to my preset tab, I can go to my folder with those in. Now I could come back over to my tone model list again and say, well, let's go up to one of the higher gain ones here. Not that this is super high gain. And I could flip back over to my templates and say, I want my default template with some delay on this one. I click that, go back to my tone model list, I click this. And I have that there again. That would be Tone Quotient 1.5H. And again, I can come in here, add that to where I want. And I can make whatever change to that I want. Come back over to my preset list, go to my user folder, and I have those presets saved. Anytime I have a set of presets, something like another collection I've recently released, which is my Zee-Mazterpiece Ultimate, which is based off of my beautiful Dr. Zee-Mazterpiece NR amp. If I liked what I had on this, let's say I had some chorus on this or a phaser, let's say. I can always rest assured that when I switch over to my tone model tab, I could apply those settings to any one of the tone models by switching out. and I'll be up and running in no time. So utilizing our preset and tone model tabs, our user folders, and setting up ourselves with a little template folder with the settings we normally use can speed up our workflow by flipping back and forth between our presets and tone models. Again, utilizing user folders when we're saving, and then just saving our tone models as such. We don't have to go in and make these settings across different tone models if we have settings that we tend to continue to go back to. I hope I didn't miss anything there, and I hope that that answers some of the questions that I have been getting about it. And I really do hope that that helps speed up your workflow and that it was helpful. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the tones you heard today. All the links will be below to these tones if you're so inclined to want to grab a copy, whether from ToneNet or my website. Today I'm going to leave you with a full demo video of utilizing one of my latest collections, which is the Zee-Mazterpiece Ultimate Collection, so you can hear how these sound in a full production in the mix. And I hope you enjoy these. Thanks again so much for sharing your time with me. Please like the video, share it with anybody you think would get some use or enjoyment of watching it, and also subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell notification to get notified when I put new content out. I'll be back very soon with some more. Ciao for now.